What you need to do is be thankful for the life you got, you know what I'm saying?
They send pressure. They feel the Vades in trouble. Stiff arm, throws. How did he do it in the first down? Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught. It's a miracle. It's celebrated. Oh, my goodness. This town is going crazy. Goff protected. Another completion. Another short one. And bouncing off the tackle is Montgomery. What a catch and run. Still going.
Happy Thursday, everyone. I am Cory, joined as always by Lucas. We are What's the Play. Thank you for joining us. Baby, we are officially back. NFL is here. Lucas, how are you tonight?
You just said we're live on YouTube. I didn't know that. It's a new thing for this season. We're upping our game this season.
Yeah, we're trying to up the pod here and make sure we're streaming on more platforms so more people can view the pod.
Of course, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I got my Super Bowl patch, a Jalen Hurts jersey. I'm ready. I just saw that Trent's on Eagles -8.5. Normally that wouldn't be a good thing, but Trent's been hot on primetime. He was red hot on primetime NFL last season.
Yeah, last year, everyone kind of makes fun of Trent for being not a great bettor, which is, he's statistically not, but his primetime game last year was actually pretty incredible.
Started that way this season with college. I think we're going to talk a little bit of college.
Maybe Trent's actually turning into a sharp. Maybe he's turning into a secret sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fade Trent at your own risk.
Yeah, that's true. So, anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Rate, review, subscribe, please. It does help us. So we wanted to start doing this more this year. As we talked about on the first episode on last Friday. And, this is kind of that first installment here where we're on Thursdays. We're going to start talking about, we're going to have a real quick show where we talk about the Thursday night game. Because Monday was Labor Day, we didn't get to do Monday's show like we originally would be doing, where Monday we would kind of probably be more in depth recapping both NFL and college. So we're going to kind of sprinkle in the week one recap tonight, just kind of very briefly. We don't want to do too much because obviously the main focus is the NFL. So
Cyclones, huge game.
Yep, I'm repping the Cyclones. So for those that don't know, it's 8 week for us. We play Iowa. Yep. We'll get more into the college picks and stuff tomorrow in tomorrow's episode. So, if you're looking for those picks, and just your more in-depth breakdown, that's going to be tomorrow's episodes. So, let's just go ahead and get into it and just, real brief. Like I said, we kind of want to go over just some of what we kind of thought were maybe the higher level games or had maybe the most impact on the sport going into week one. A lot of those did kind of revolve around some ranked opponents. We kind of kicked off college football week one, with Boise State going up against South Florida. I know you and I talked about that game as it was going on live. So we're just going to kind of run through maybe a little fun exercise and talk about what we thought the outcome of the game says more about one team or the other. So what did you think that Boise losing by, 34-7, does that say more about Boise or South Florida?
Well, I think you said it on the show last week that they kind of gave Boise the 25 ranking just because, they had a playoff run last season. Of course, they're preseason favorite in the Mountain West this season. Go ahead and just give them a 25 ranking. Just kind of guessing.
Yeah, and I think the one point I really tried to hammer home to the audience was that it was just that you lost Ashton Genty, and that was, I think that was really undersold for Boise. Boise is not a Power 4. And even losing that in a Power 4 is a big hit. Their offense revolved around him. I think I looked up stat earlier this week, and last year he took, in one way or another, he was touching the ball, I think like 87% of the time or something, whether he was catching the ball in out of the backfield or whatever. So that's a lot of production through one player that they lost. I agree. I think it says more about Boise, and that they're probably just not as good as everyone kind of anticipated them being. So obviously on Saturday was Lee Corso's, if you're a game day fan, that was his last headgear pick. Incredibly, he went, I think, 6-0.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, unbelievable. What a way to go out for the guy. Absolute legend.
Outright underdogs, Florida State and Miami.
Yep, which is actually one of the games that we had, two of the games that we have on this list here. Obviously, then that game ended, and they went right into probably the most anticipated game so far of the season, which was number 1 Texas versus number 3 Ohio State. I don't know if you watched that game. I know probably most people did. What do you think that kind of said, or who that said more about, Texas or Ohio State?
I'm seeing on Twitter, they're surprised, like, on a neutral field, Texas is going to be favored. I'm not entirely sure about that, to be honest, but I feel like, was that Arch Manning's 3rd start? I think he started 2 games last season. I mean,
yeah, they were kind of garbage time games.
Everyone's getting their jokes off. I feel like Arch is going to be all right.
Yeah. I think it really said more about Ohio State, personally.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you. I think Arch is going to be fine. And I kind of fell into the trap a little bit there too. Obviously, I thought Texas would win the game, but you kind of look back at some of the things that had happened or said. Sark saying that Arch wasn't ready, or his grandpa saying that he needed 2 years. You kind of look back at that and you're like, oh, maybe they knew what the hell they were talking about. He did need 2 years. I thought it really looked like that Sark kind of had the training wheels on Arch and didn't really let him open up too often. But he also had some really bad, very poor throws for someone who's supposedly a Heisman contender. If anything, I think it just kind of needs to quelch that this is his first real game. Like, let's just settle down here. The media needs to kind of relax. Of course, they're never going to do that. So, I don't know. I think it just said more about Ohio State than really Texas. Texas is really going to be able to hang their hat on their defense, and Arch will get better.
I did not watch LSU and Clemson. I was out enjoying the little summer trip at the beach right before NFL kicked off.
Yeah.
You saw that one.
The battle, I think they were calling it the Battle of Death Valley. Obviously, both teams call their home stadiums Death Valley. I thought
Tigers and the Tigers, both from
yeah. Year in and year out, I let Dabo fucking Sweeney, the used car salesman, just make me buy into his fucking hype. And I'm so tired of this guy and this fucking asshole and just sucking every goddamn time it comes to a big game. I am just so tired of that guy. I'll start with this one. I think it said more about Clemson than it did LSU. And it really, what it told me was I bought way too much into the Dabo hype, and that, yeah, Clemson is pretty good, but you're at home, and they could hardly move the ball. The environment was great, but I walked away thinking, wow, maybe Clemson's not as good as I thought.
What about when they get the ACC play? They're going to be right with the ACC.
That kind of just, it depends on what you think about the ACC in general, right? If you think it's super soft, then they're going to be fine, which is my opinion. But if they play like this in the playoff, they're going to get rolled by whoever. If they play in Ohio State later in the year, I don't even know. I mean, what would your guess on that score be? To me, based on week one, I don't really want to be hyperbolic and overreact too much, but I feel like they get blown out by, 17 or something like that. So I don't know. I just kind of bought into the hype way too much, and I let that used fucking car salesman Dabo just get me once again, and I walked away with a Honda Accord and a fucking 3-year powertrain warranty. So I don't know.
I didn't watch the game, so I can't have a strong
Yeah,
opinion on it. To
that's
be
kind of
honest.
hard to have an opinion on if you didn't watch the game. What about Alabama, Florida? Is that one you ended up catching?
No, I watched Texas and Ohio State, but by the time Florida State kicked off, I had to follow along on my phone.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Florida State was in control for seemed like 3 quarters.
Yeah, so I heard an interesting stat earlier in the day, which was that under Saban, he'd only lost 4 or 5 games ever to unranked teams. Yet under, I can't remember what the new guy's last name is.
DeBoer.
DeBoer, thank you. Under DeBoer, that he's lost 5 games, or he's lost like 5 or 6 in the last 15 games. So, to me, I think that whole game said more about Alabama than it did about Florida State. And the reason I say that is because generally Alabama's really good in the trenches, and Florida State just ran it down their throat time and time again. And, Alabama could not stop them. They were doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do. And I don't know. You think about Alabama, you think about a very hard-nosed, powerful team in the trenches, and that was not what Alabama was. I don't know what the fuck DeBoer did all of spring coaching, but it sure and hell wasn't getting those guys prepared for this game. Maybe he thought he was going to, go into Florida State and just roll them, but that sure and hell isn't what happened. Great win for Florida State in general, or overall, though. And I do like the only thing I don't like about the ranking is that Alabama's still ranked in the top 25. Like, sorry, they need to get out. I like that they moved Florida State up quite a bit, though. I thought that was fair. Then the Sunday game, was supposed to be a real good one, and it did turn out to be that. Just that. It was Notre Dame versus Miami. What did you walk away from that game thinking?
We don't have the Hokies game against South Carolina on here. That was a good game for 3 quarters.
It was a good game. It was a good game.
Have enough from Kyron Jones on offense.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Yep. He just doesn't have enough around him this year, it doesn't seem like.
So Brent Pry, head coach of the Hokies, he has the lowest odds of the next Power 4 coach to be fired. It's like plus 400 or something.
Yeah.
He's basically coaching
this
weekend on Saturday night against Vanderbilt.
Who offers those odds?
I have no idea. Might have to be I think it might just be a Canada thing or offshore book.
Okay.
I think U.S. books offer it actually.
I see.
Maybe a couple states, but
yeah.
So disappointing day for my Hokies, but the ACC did show out with Miami beating Notre Dame.
Great win. Great win for them.
I was a little bit surprised by that.
So did you think that said more about Miami or Notre Dame?
Honestly, probably Miami, because I don't think either of us have been very high on Carson Beck. It's kind of fun one of those quarterbacks you make fun of over the offseason and all, but just enough against a very good Notre Dame defense.
Right.
Kind of surprising that Jeremiah Love didn't get involved with running game on Notre Dame, but
yeah.
I don't know. It surprised me. Not too many things surprised me over the weekend, to be honest. But
I agree. I think that really said a lot about Miami. They looked really good, in my opinion. And, I think there was a lot. Obviously, the big talk is the move for Carson Beck going to do him any good or not? And it seemed like it did.
Yeah.
So good for him. The ACC needed that. I think the ACC had an incredible weekend, really, if you kind of look at it top to bottom. You had it didn't look so good after Clemson lost, which is your favorite, but then you had Florida State coming back and beat Alabama, which was, depending on who you talk to, was a potential winner of the SEC. And then you had Miami beat Notre Dame, which, again, just all kind of depends on who you talk to and what you thought about Notre Dame. But I thought that was a really good win or overall weekend for the ACC. One game I didn't put on here that I thought was interesting was the Colorado Georgia Tech game. I don't know if you watched that game or not, but my God, what the fuck is Dion doing?
I have watched last 10 minutes or so.
Is that not like the biggest coaching malpractice you've ever fucking seen?
I mean, it's got to be up there, to be honest.
I mean, you could
It
say
was a mistake. He didn't see anything wrong with it not going to timeout.
Yeah, you fucking in the game with 2 timeouts? What the hell are you doing? And he's like, "Oh, I thought we got out of bounds." No, you fucking idiot. You didn't. Look up at the clock. It'll tell you if it's
5 seconds
running.
and 2 timeouts.
It was unbelievable. And then he goes in and he gaslights the media, saying, "Oh, well, I thought we got out, blah, blah, blah." It's like, no, man, you're the coach. Like, that's on you. You have to be looking at the fucking clock. So I don't know. I was blown away with what he said after the game and just not using a timeout, or like, did no one on the field, like even the quarterback or anyone's like, "Oh, timeout." I don't know. It was they should have they probably should have won that game, but because no one calls a timeout, I think they called that first play at like 108 or something, and then they didn't snap the ball again until 40-ish seconds or something. So, and then after that, it was like 18, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Call a timeout. Someone from the crowd just yelled timeout. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. It wouldn't have been a great win for the Big 12, but it would have been a decent one because, Colorado's still kind of projected to be at the bottom there. And I thought Cincinnati was going to pull one off against Nebraska, which would have been hilarious. But I guess just in the house that Patrick Mahomes built, Sorsby decided to try and be Patrick Mahomes and just toss it right to the defender to end the game. So I don't know. Solid move by him. So that's probably enough college. That was kind of just our big high-level takeaways. So I know I want to dive more into tonight's game because that's why I think a lot of people are probably listening to this game or to us tonight and to try and get what we're thinking about the game. So I
think we'll get into a couple plays tomorrow. Some interesting action tomorrow.
Yes, yeah.
Some action again tomorrow, but
yeah,
Friday and Saturday.
So we open NFL tonight with the Cowboys versus the Eagles. Game probably would have been maybe. Well, I didn't see how the spread moved after the Parsons trade, to be honest, but it probably would have been.
It was around 6.5, 7 before.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I figured it moved probably 2 points. Yeah,
I think it moved in that over the summer. But then it was 7.5 and now 8.5. I'm checking the weather right now.
Yeah, someone was saying this might be chance of rain, right?
Yeah, I'm checking. First half looking good right now. Second half.
Yeah. So let's just talk about how you kind of see this game going in general, and then maybe just as you do that, kind of flow into some of the plays you've kind of got sprinkled in there.
I'm ready to get this game over with at this point. Tired of talking about it, tired of thinking about it. Go ahead and this game over with.
Yeah.
207 days ago, Hurts to Devontae. Let's go ahead and get this game kicked off. So, of course, I'm on the Eagles. Had the Eagles money line in a play, but 8.5 is a bigger spread for the NFL. I'm not sure if you have a side on this one.
Well, before the Parsons trade, I would have played the Eagles. Yeah. But after the trade, I just don't see how the Cowboys are going to stop the Eagles at all. I know one thing that we talked about a lot was liking the under. Traditionally the Thursday games have been pretty horrid and the unders hit. I don't remember the exact stat, but it's what is it, like in the 70 percentile or something like that. And I know both you and I have the under first half alternate spread in a couple of parlays.
Yeah.
With that being said, I because I don't know how the Cowboys defense is going to be, I would probably take the Eagles minus the 8.5 at this point.
Riding with Trent.
Yeah, I just think that they're going to run the ball with Saquon so much that they'll tire the defense down. And then by, probably in the second half, the pass game will be there when they need it, and they'll just kind of, pop some big plays there. With that being said, I'm sure the Cowboys will drive down and kick a meaningless field goal to make it to 7 or some shit. Just to be perfect. But, I like you said, 8 is a large number for the NFL. It's not really a number. I personally, I'm not taking that unless I can get like a better number, like 6.5 live or something like that. I might try and I'd probably snipe that for sure. But I'm not at 8.5. It's just a pass for me.
I'm checking Cowboys props right now. Jaden Blue just got ruled inactive 13 minutes ago. So
yeah, that was a play you had.
Bet up.
So maybe kind of go over some of the plays you kind of have going here. I don't know if you've tweeted out or anything or put on your Twitter or your X. Sorry.
I don't say X, but I tweeted out, I think, three plays. Little touchdown lotto on a couple builders.
Yeah.
Relatively straightforward.
So I know one play that your build, you kind of, what did you use you had a TD play. Was that what you used your boost on, or is that what you used used your boost? Okay. So for those that are listening, there is a 50% boost on FanDuel. Obviously, we're not supported by FanDuel. So if you want to use other books, please do so. But in this case, we're talking about a FanDuel boost. So I think did you have AJ or Devontae or AJ? Devontae.
He gets matched up with Deron Bland. He's on Deron Bland the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Trayvon Diggs is in, so hopefully he gets the cover matchup with AJ Brown.
So that was the TD play that you personally played with your boost.
Pickens is gonna get his chance, that's for sure. He's gonna get a couple.
Yeah, he is. Actually, and I'm looking at what you got it on. So actually it's gone up a few points. You got it at 637. It was 679 right now. Might be weather related, so
yeah, would
be my guess. The other kind of play that you have that you use your no sweat. Ironically, I'd already locked mine in, but ours were pretty close, except for you had some Pickens in here. So you're doing something that I did a lot of last year, which was the first quarter props.
Yeah. Something I planned to do a little bit more this season.
Yep.
Go ahead and try to get out with profit. And if not, I got a $10 bet for tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah. So you maybe want to explain why you like the first quarter props more than maybe the full game?
When I checked on Tuesday, it said something like 30% chance of rain. Now it seems like we have a very high likelihood for rain in the second half. So that works well for, I think, first quarter props. I think I might have a fun first quarter, first half, where the weather's looking right now. That didn't come into the analysis, but
did you?
All my plays have correlated with Dallas not being able to run the football and having a top 5 passing offense. I'm certainly going to be betting Dallas offense a lot this season. I think CeeDee Lamb and Pickens are going to be working very well together.
Even
whoever eats depends on the coverage, depending on.
Yeah, obviously it's probably Dak related too.
I mean, Dak likes taking a little bit riskier throws. He's not Daniel Jones, but
right.
I'm very excited to see how Pickens and CeeDee Lamb work off each other. CeeDee Lamb being so good underneath and Pickens being one of the best deep threats in the league. But I have to imagine Pickens gets at least one, scripted play in the first quarter.
Yes. So that's kind of there's where I was trying to get you to go with the first quarter thing. You and I both kind of have the same thought when it comes to the first quarter, let alone the first drive. If you don't have to have played football, but if you do, a lot of the first few drives, generally like the first 3 drives, they're all very well scripted and very well laid out.
Yeah.
And that's based on how the coaches have prepared and how they really feel like the game is going to go or how they want to dictate the game, right? So obviously with someone like the Cowboys, you need to try and think like the coaches, and you need to think, all right, if I'm Dallas, how do I need to be able to dictate my offense or defense to try and put our team in the best position to win? Well, for Dallas, in my opinion, it's got to be you got to give the ball to your best players. That's CeeDee Lamb. You know, you got to try and get him some touches early, even if they're kind of like out routes or 7-yard picks type thing. CD can end up turning those 15, 20-yard gains because he breaks a tackle. So that's why I like the first quarter props. Is generally I have a pretty good read on how I think the game initially needs to start for that team to win. And you can get I don't know if this is true so much. I don't know if you've looked into this, but I feel like the first quarter props also have better value in terms of, for instance, CeeDee Lamb receiving yards. Like for 5 yards,
it's like 7 13.5 for the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean 320, right?
5 in the builder and 10 plus in the first quarter lotto.
Yeah, 320. I mean, it's not great, but if you come up here and you're looking at what his regular line is, all right, 70, 71.5, and then you want to just try maybe an alt his receiving yards down.
Because tomorrow we can have the prop stack cash up.
Yeah. 50
right now, but it'll be quick tonight. Have a regular show tomorrow.
Yeah.
I hit rate in the first quarter last
50 is
Pickens, but
what's that? Sorry.
Extremely high hit rate in the first quarter last season for Lamb. Granted, he didn't have Pickens last year, but
right.
When you talk about scripting their first couple drives,
yeah,
you're obviously going to CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb's your guy, and if you're the Eagles, what do you want to do? You want to try and get probably Devontae the ball, and you definitely want to get Saquon going, right? So, your no sweat was a plus 2,000 plus roughly 2,100 kind of parlay. That was all first quarter props. So I don't know if you have it up, or otherwise I do. I can read it off if you want.
I don't, but if you want to, you can.
Yeah, so his no sweat was Lamb 10 plus yards in the first quarter, Pickens 5 yards first quarter, Smith 5 yards first quarter, Brown 5 yards first quarter, Barkley 15 yards rushing first quarter, and then Saquon touchdown. Cap it off with the under 30.5 total points in the first. And that came out the 2,088. So that was actually pretty close to the thing I'd locked in like the day before. Mine was 21.90. The only difference was I think Jake Ferguson's going to get more involved. The tight end there. So I got Jake Ferguson for a touchdown, 25 yards receiving in the game, under 30.5 first half. CeeDee Lamb 5 yards receiving, Barkley for a touchdown, and Barkley 15 yards rushing. So really kind of the main difference there is I think personally that I think they're going to try and get Ferguson really involved at the game. We'll see. I don't know. It's obviously a no sweat, so if it doesn't hit, it's not the end of the world. But if it does, then we're off to the races. Is there any other picks or things on this game that you like that you really want to talk about?
Yeah, I got a couple builders. I got a couple lottos. I'm ready to just get this game over with. I mean, we have so many promos. It's honestly a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with the boost and no sweats.
Well, that was something we talked about. Last week, is that we know, to take it slow.
Yep.
It's the first week. They're going to just absolutely deploy every boost, no sweat that they can at you to try and get you to, toss all your money at these things because you're super excited. So I only have 2 plays for this game. One was the no sweat, and then the boost. I don't even remember what I used my boost on, to be honest. I think it might have been the same.
I have this many plays. Granted, I only have like 6 plays, but actually maybe less than that because Jaden Blue is inactive. He'll void, but
so mine was that play that you did that you posted, but you didn't use your boost on it. So it was CeeDee Lamb 5 yards receiving in the first quarter, Saquon 10 yards rushing in the first quarter, and then the under 35.5 first half. So I use my boost on that to get it to 137.
I'm wondering if I'm going to be doing that a lot this season. Have first quarter props as a builder type play.
I
mean, always a lot of either.
I really like
you
the
talking
first
about
quarter.
95.5 rushing yards for Saquon. Granted, I did take that boost because it was like plus 140 something for 90 plus rushing yards.
Oh yeah, I didn't. I guess I didn't see that one. 5 yards, and then what
they had
was
a
it?
boost yesterday for Saquon 90 plus. Granted, it's not my favorite boost ever, but at plus 140, I'll take my chance. 10 plus, 5 plus. I had under 35.5.
Yeah.
Minus 110. I mean, you could probably go under than 35.5, but
So I mean that I got at 109.
me.
It's 112 still right now, and you can boost that up, and it's going to be 135, 130, 130, which is what I did. So I think that's a pretty sweat-free cash. Just max the boost out.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Get out with profit. I don't think you're going to sweat that first half under, but
no, I don't think so either. Unless someone from the Eagles defense breaks a leg or something, or the whole team dies.
That's the thing with the Eagles defense. I think their secondary can be vulnerable this year for sure. So I went with Pickens over CD. I think CD.
Yeah.
CD's obviously one of my favorite players to bet on. I've bet on plenty of times over the past few seasons, but I think he's got a tougher matchup than Pickens.
Yeah, I mean Cooper DeJean, sorry, is probably going to slide over more towards CD. Would be my guess. So. Yeah.
Sidney Brown starting safety.
Yeah.
Barbecue chicken for Pickens. CJ Gardner Johnson's not out there.
So given all that, it's the first game here. Did you try to limit yourself at all, or you just tried to play? I mean, what normally was your plan here? Just play the things you like.
I didn't want to limit myself and not play anything, but I might actually not sure off the top of my head because Jaden Blue's inactive. I might have 4 units, probably less than that, 3.5 units going today. Honestly, maybe not even 2.5 now. I might have one more play if I get a line I want in the next hour.
Depends on if they drop it or not.
Props compared to other books. We also have Your Way this season for the entire season.
So that's actually a good thing to bring up. Do you know if that's so I've had Your Way here in Colorado, and I know you have it in Virginia. Is that something that everyone has that you know of, or?
I think everybody has it now.
Yeah, I don't know. Those watching live.
As we speak, it looks like.
Yeah, for those watching live.
Might have one more play.
Yeah. For those watching live, if you're not in one of those 2 states, let us know if you have Your Way. I'm curious to know if that's something. Yeah.
See, it's loading. They're gonna give me who I want.
I'd be curious to know if everyone has that or if it's still in select states or not.
I think it's nationwide now. Your Way, as far as I know.
Mike's watching. He says he has it in Massachusetts. So yeah, maybe you're right.
Not sure how many viewers we have on a Thursday evening, 7:15. We're just under an hour away till kickoff. We want to have a short show tonight. Tomorrow we're going to go in depth, have our normal breakdown for each game. Might have a few college plays.
Yeah, and actually looking back, since we have we'll kind of end it on this, on the how we did or how I did, I guess. I don't remember if you had any official plays for college.
Not yet.
I told you Utah was an absolute mortal max. That was the easiest sweat-free win you're going to probably have all season. They absolutely just took UCLA out behind the woodshed and, belted them. They looked fucking good. I don't know if you stayed up. That's a late game for East Coast. So
I watched the second half. I watched a little bit of the first half.
Yeah, I was even struggling to stay awake.
Second half.
Yeah, I was even struggling to stay awake. But man, they just fucking belted them.
I didn't have a bad one,
Michigan State lost at like the last drive. Like there was, I don't know, a minute or 2 left, and they lost on like a garbage touchdown that they let off. That they let in to lose the minus 20.5, which was absolute BS. So that one kind of hurt. What was the other main play I had? I can't even remember now. All in all, though, I'm trying to go lighter in the first few weeks just because with how many teams have transfers on them, it's really, really difficult. Oh, Texas. That's what I said. I said that, Texas. With how many how many people are transferring now, it's really hard to know just exactly what a team is. I thought Clemson would win that game pretty handily. Obviously, that was foolish too. So, I try to go pretty light the first probably 3 weeks until they kind of get into conference play, and then you kind of know what your team or what the teams really are. So, with that, I don't really have anything else. I know I'm excited to watch this game, even if it is probably going to be a disgusting game, just like most of the primetime. But I'm just excited to finally get back to talking about NFL again.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the real show tomorrow.
Yep. So thanks, everyone, for joining us for a short show tonight. We'll be back tomorrow for the longer episode where we talk about the college games coming up, and then obviously we'll do a deep dive into NFL. So with that, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot pot, fucking on your bitch, yeah, that, cooking up dope in the crock pot, we came from nothing to something, nigga, I don't trust nobody.